We are coming off the heels of, dare I say, our first Monday afternoon Raw that we've really ever had. And it was live, ladies and gentlemen, from Brussels, Belgium. We're going to talk all about it. Welcome to Squared Circle Radio Live. I'm your phenomenal host, Mr. Podcasting, Chris Belcher. The young buck, Andy York, is with me, and back on the program, the whole podcasting show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on YouTube, he put the gun show away, just so you guys know. just so the girls don't falter. All right, Jared Justice is back on the program. You put the gun show away. What happened?
You made fun of me, and I thought, okay, so I'm going to throw him a curveball because you're like, I'm going to work this into the intro. So as we were waiting, the little screen comes up, 59 seconds. I just went whoop, changed. I was like, if he starts making fun of this shirt, I'm going to say, you're making fun of my Jesus shirt, man. You are a terrible person. Much like all the people out there in Cena's mind. Terrible people. Terrible people
They are, Andy. I mean, but not terrible if they're watching this program, right?
No, unless you're part of the 90% that doesn't subscribe, then you're part of the terrible people.
Accurate. So how do you fix that? Subscribe to the channel. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. We're not going to send you an email. We're not going to do anything. That's right. Jared says it's down where, Jared? It's down there. Right there, right underneath this video, hit that subscribe button. Or I think the logo is also at the bottom of the video. You can hit the logo and it'll subscribe you as well. Make sure you do that. We would appreciate it. Like the video, tons of stuff to get to. The comments are already blowing up. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Aaron Grisham is in the chat. Jared, the Supreme Court Justice. Jared, do you like that nickname? The Supreme Court Justice?
I do like it, man. I cannot believe that I've never thought of using something like that before, but that's creative, dude. Big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up to Grish. Big thumbs up. He's also subscribed and also terrible. Well, Aaron, that makes 4 of us. So it's not a big deal. Lots of stuff to get to tonight. If this is your first time on the show, welcome in. We pride this show on being for the fans, by the fans. We're just wrestling fans sitting here talking about it. We don't pretend to be experts, although we would like to be. And if somebody wants to hire us as such, all 3 of us will take the job immediately. That being said, we're
I'm
here.
not cheap, but I can be bought.
That is fair. Shoot us a message, drop it in the chat, or shoot us a message on social media. We'll be happy to negotiate a rate for you. Okay. We're open to all of that. Let's get into it. Jared referenced it. John Cena made his first appearance today rather. I'm going to say tonight the whole time, guys. You just have to bear with me. It's something that I am not used to.
It's not now.
That's true. It is. John Cena made his first appearance on Monday Night Raw, and guys, what a wild appearance it was. John Cena, Andy, I say he cut a promo that I really think, Andy, had a whole lot of truth to it. You could tell that John Cena really believed what he was saying in that promo.
Yeah, that's a promo I think he's wanted to cut for 10, 15 years now. I think that's something that he's definitely been holding back. And that's something we say all the time. Like, the most captivating and the most believable heels are the ones that when they speak, they're not really telling lies. Like their motives may be bad, but they're telling the truth when they're speaking. And everything he said from his perspective towards the fans was absolutely true. I mean, he, outside of probably Roman, and even Roman didn't get it as bad for as long as Cena got it. I mean, Cena got it for a decade, probably, if not more.
Yeah, his whole run, really.
I mean, there was points though where he got somewhat cheered and everything, but like that, basically from like 2008 till he left and became part-time, it was nothing but hatred and boos, and just people were against Cena the whole time. So to hear him come out and cut this promo, I was nervous about what a heel promo from Cena would look like, and in the first 2 seconds, I was more than hooked and was realizing, no, this is going to be very special seeing Cena like this.
Like Aaron said in the chat, Jared, we're getting the real life John Cena, and that couldn't be more true. What were your thoughts? I think Jared is frozen. Oh no. It's so terrible. Andy, you and I will continue the conversation until we can get Jared back. That being said, I'll take him off the frozen screen there until we can get him back. That being said, Andy, it was so cool because we got this promo from a place where, like you said, it's real, it's valid, it's something he's felt for a long time, and yet it was the truth. Like, he came out and he said, "Look, you're not getting new gear and you're not getting new music because you want it, and I'm not giving it to you." And that was exactly, that was the right answer. You know what I mean? And so it was really cool to be able to see John Cena. And then once that happened, Cody Rhodes interrupted him. And then we have to get a quick word from Jared because I think he is back. Sorry for all that. Cody Rhodes comes out and he interrupts John Cena. And Jared, just what a back and forth between these guys. Jared is still frozen. He is having internet issues tonight, y'all. All right, Andy, let's keep it going. And Jared will pop back in as soon as he is ready. Cody Rhodes comes out, and then, dude, what a back and forth. Cena calling him a kid, and Cody going, no, WWE champion.
Yeah, the whole exchange between the two of them was just, I mean, top tier. It's what we wanted, and it's something that, you know, we talked about before, that maybe the excitement or the hype level for Cody Cena wasn't there just yet, and then after the heel turn, obviously it shot through the roof. And now seeing them face to face and hearing them talk back and forth, it's probably the match I'm looking forward to the most at WrestleMania right now. Just seeing these two guys go at it. It also let me know and showed us that, and I think Jared said this on the Chamber post show, there's no way Cena would be doing this unless there was somebody coming in to take his place that he knew could take his place and
Yes.
go to the next level. And that absolutely is Cody Rhodes. And you see that. And so you see that just Cena trusts Cody, knows Cody's the guy to continue that forward, and knows that this is the perfect program for them to kick it off. And I love that Cody didn't back down. He just stood there and told him, listen, if this is the John Cena I get at WrestleMania, then it's a cakewalk. Like, it's going to be easy to beat you because you're whiny. And so, you know, maybe it's Cody starting to overlook Cena. Maybe we get a more vicious side of Cena down the line. But if this is how we're starting this feud off, I am more than ready for this because it is absolutely amazing.
John Cena committing a cyber attack on Jared, the Supreme Court justice. He's taking out his internet. That's exactly what I wanted.
His best Cena impersonation.
That's true. You can't see him. That's right. So that I want to bring this picture back up if you're watching on our YouTube channel. This is what I started with, and this is exactly what I was getting ready to say, Andy. You were talking about the way that this promo shook out and the way that Cena reacted to Cody, and Cody put him in his place and not backing down. Look at this picture, Andy. Cena looks defeated. Like, I have never seen this look on John Cena's face ever. Like, yes, he's had a couple of scared looks like WrestleMania 34 against The Undertaker. And yes, he's had some looks of doubt at times when he wrestled AJ Styles and when he wrestled The Rock and all that, this, that, and the other, but never like this defeated look. Like, did you get that feeling at all?
Yeah, I got the sense of being defeated. I think also, like, when Cody's music was hit and they were singing, like the fans were singing his music, they cut to him back in the ring. And he had this look of, I guess, jealousy at the same time, too, of like, why I'm basically the same person that Cody was trying to be during my babyface run. And yet, why am I the one that you guys turned on, but yet you're loving him? Like, you're loving everything he's doing. And so you get that jealousy, you get that defeat. And maybe like this is early planting the seeds of maybe what Cody said is getting to Cena. And maybe we start to see that crack a little bit, just the early stages of it as we head forward. Maybe if he loses at WrestleMania, we really start to play in that even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely looked like somebody that we had never seen before. Like, nobody's ever seen this version of Cena, which is it's so interesting just to see this from him.
And Aaron even says in the chat, John Cena once slapped a cookie out of a child's hand. Yeah, this version of Cena would do that. Like,
he called out that kid in the front row.
He did, which Jared was going to make a comment on. I'll save that for when we get him back. He's working on getting back. He's having some internet issues, but Andy, it was so cool because so many awesome things happened with this. Yet you mentioned it just a minute ago. I can't wait to see what's next. Like, because you know a point is coming, because we know next week they're both going to be under the same roof again. You know a point is coming where Cena's going to get the better of Cody. Like, it's going to happen. And I was telling actually Aaron at work today, we had a few minutes of downtime and we turned on Raw, and it just so happened like Cena and Cody were up there. So we finished watching it live. And I told him, I said, I can't wait for Cena to one up Cody, because Cena eats people on the microphone for a living. He did it to Roman. He does it to baby faces. He does it to heels. It doesn't matter. So is that going to put Cody in a bad spot as the baby face and as the face of the company? Maybe. But in order to keep the feud interesting, Andy, he's got to eat Cody on a promo, right?
Absolutely. I think it's one of those that each guy is going to get their moment. Going back and forth with promos. Like I think there's going to be a time where Cena is absolutely probably going to say something wild about Dusty Rhodes, and we're probably going to get some callback to that. But at the end of the day, both these guys are going to get their moment. It's like any Punk promo or any Rock promo that you get. Somebody may get the better of them in one promo, but just wait till next week and we go back and forth again. Like somebody is going to get the advantage of somebody else in these promos. And, we're looking at, this picture right here is showing two of the best current guys on the roster with microphones in their hands, if not two of the best of all time. Yep. And so, it's going to be very special leading up to WrestleMania. The go home show promo between these two guys, I can't even imagine what they're going to be saying to each other. But everybody's going to be hooked along the way because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this dude in the middle that's wearing all black. Like, is he a security guard? Like, is he like?
So I saw him a couple times.
Look at the mean mug that this guy has on. Listen, I think we finally have Jared Justice back. There he is. We've mentioned a lot of things about this Cody Cena promo. Obviously, you want to weigh in. Go ahead with some of your thoughts, and then we'll just piggyback on you and go from there.
Okay. It just amazes me that you all weren't jumping out of your seat, because I watched this and I was like, this is perfect. This is wrestling done perfect. And just to make sure I was right, I got my wife's opinion, because she's always right. So I was like, you have to watch this. You got to just watch it and give me your opinion. And she's like, why are you for Cena through the whole thing? And she's like, I can't believe he said that. And I was like, that means it's working. Yeah. We've been watching it long enough that we know what kind of emotions they're trying to get stirred up in the people who don't normally watch it and haven't watched it for 20, 30 years. And it worked to perfection, dude. He told the absolute truth. He did. I'm sure that everybody out there, it's kind of like how they talked about Steve Austin. You resonate with him because you see what he's doing and you wish you could do it. There's everybody out there, there's at least some situation in your life that you wanted to walk in and just be like, you all don't appreciate me. I do so much, and no matter what, I get no appreciation. And that is exactly what this man did. And dude, it worked.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It 100% did. Jared, for the first time, it seemed like the "Let's Go Cena sucks" chants, or the John Cena sucks, that the sing along with his music, was valid. Like, most of the time we used to do it just in spite of him. Jared, now it's valid. We have reason, just like you said, and it's just the start of something awesome on the road to WrestleMania.
I love it, dude. I've wanted this version of Cena for so long. I can picture it in my head, and now to finally see it come to life, I think so many people have been waiting for it, and we finally got it.
Andy, I'm going to ask you this, because I thought about it on the way home. I know you have a thought. This may piggyback on that. I had this thought on my way home, and it was a question that I want to make sure to get your all's opinion on. As I'm listening to Monday Night Raw, it's like, okay, Jared said it. We finally get this version of John Cena. WWE is taking a big chance with a heel John Cena in his final run, in his final year. He said it again tonight that this is it. No more. He's done. I know heels lie, but I believe him when he says he's done. But they're taking a huge chance here, Andy. The question that I want to ask you is, Jared said he's been waiting on this version of Cena for so long. Maybe we would have gotten this version 5, 6, 8, 10 years ago, whatever. Do you think it has the impact 8 to 10 years ago that it does today? because you lived through the PG era. That was your era.
Yeah.
This Super Cena era, that was yours. So
Yeah.
how do you think this impact would have been 8-10 years ago? Would it be the same, different, etc.?
No, I don't think it would have been the same because we're still stuck we were still stuck in the PG rules, like the PG era of things where you weren't able to do as much that we're able to do now. Plus, going off of what we kind of talked about before, you look during that time period, who's going to be the guy to step up to take Cena's place as the top babyface, in the company during that time period? Because Roman was too green. The Punk was never going to get the company behind him. So, like, who else was going to be the top guy that you could put in there as the next John Cena going forward?
Yeah.
I don't think it would work. I think this is the only time that they could have done this to where it's going to be successful, and nobody's going to there's not going to be any damages done because of this. Like, I don't think we're going to hurt Cena's career legacy going into this. I don't think we're going to rush somebody, put them in this top spot that they're not ready for. This is just the perfect storm for this to happen and for this to take place. And the thought I had as Jared was talking, I meant to bring it up, is kudos to the Brussels crowd, because they played their role perfect in this whole exchange. Because I think if you'd have done this in America, we'd have tried to have the cool people cheering the heel, booing the bad guy. That was not the case here, because those were the loudest boos I think I've ever heard given to John Cena.
Yep.
And then the pop that Cody got when his music hit was nuclear.
Yeah.
So credit to them. They did their job. They acted and reacted the way WWE wanted them to react. And the whole segment was 10 times better because of the crowd's reaction to everything. So, like Jared said, I don't think you could have done anything more than this opening statement. This was absolutely perfect. And the best way possible to kick off a Cena heel run.
And I love that, like, from now moving forward, we can actually see this in our mind. Like, we've actually seen the picture of what it looks like to get booed out of a building. I mean, he literally turned around and they're booing louder and louder as he goes further and further. And they're cheering for this man to leave.
And you thought
it was perfect.
You thought Hulk Hogan on the Netflix premiere of Raw was bad. This was some good stuff right there. Before we get out of here on this Cena segment, because listen, we're going to be talking about this we're going to talk about John Cena even more in this show a little bit later, but we're going to be talking about John Cena and Cody Rhodes and all that kind of stuff on the road to WrestleMania. The one point that I'll bring up as we get ready to close up, because we got a comment we got to show from my brother Bryce. Again, if you're watching live on the YouTube, drop your comments, drop your questions. We'll make sure to get to those. We would appreciate that so much. The one thing that struck me was that John Cena didn't mention The Rock one time in this promo, not once. And to your all's point about him getting booed, apparently he didn't have to. Apparently he can stand on his own and we could have this feud. The Rock was just sort of the conduit to get to a John Cena heel run. Yes.
And see, that was a worry of mine, because I thought that Rock was going to stay in focus and it would make him like he's the ultimate and Cena's kind of just a little bit underneath. But what they did by having him go out there by himself was it almost made it more about John Cena turning on the fans because of what they've done to him, not so much about Rock is going to give me all this, kind of like the way that Rock proposed things to Cody.
Exactly.
Cena doesn't really need anything from Rock. He just decided that he wants to make a statement.
Yeah, absolutely. My brother Bryce in the chat, I was thinking during Cena yapping was like, dang, you probably have some of the best merch numbers over the years. How's that not support, douche? That's hilarious, because it's true. Like, he was saying the support stuff and you're thinking, yeah, dude, like you sold all this merch, you did the Make-A-Wish, you got the title 16 times, this, that, and the other. But I get his point. Like, it was like, okay, monetarily you supported me and blah, 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 and whatever. But when it came down to it, the same people that, Andy, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for people to buy a Cena shirt at an event and then to boo him when he comes out and say Cena sucks just for the fun of it, because that's what we did, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Genuine or not, that's what we did.
Absolutely. And you got to remember too, like, there were probably a lot of kids in the early days of the PG era who were big Cena fans. And as they started to like grow up in wrestling more, maybe they started to sour when, things didn't go the way, or he started to beat some of their other favorites and this and the other, which I love. That was probably my favorite line in his whole promo, is when he said, "And I won and won and won and won and won, and it still wasn't enough for you people." And I'm like, that's such a double, like that's such a weird way to look at it, because from our perspective, you won and won and won, and we hated you because of it, because you beat all the people we liked. But from your perspective in ring, like, what else can I do? I won every match that I should have. Like, I won every match. You should have. That's like Michael Jordan being mad because he won so many NBA championships and people booing him or whatever. Like, it doesn't make sense from his perspective. So just the layers that we're getting from this, like Jared said, this has been a long time coming, and it's even better than I thought or even could have imagined it would have been. Like, I thought it was done perfectly.
It makes sense.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. It really does. Jared, real quick before we wrap this up, you wanted to mention the kid that Cena called out in the front row. What did you have to say about said kid?
Andy was just talking about like everybody's perspective and everything out in the crowd, and I was just looking back. This child right here, it's so great, and it warmed to my heart whenever you see this child's heart is broken, because that means he's so involved with this. One day, this child, because this could have been me, this child, if he's one of two things is going to happen. He's either going to say, "Screw it, I'm done with wrestling. He made fun of me, and I'm never going to watch him again." But more than likely, he's going to keep watching, and one day he's going to look back and think, "Man, I was part of that moment with Cena." Yep. So yes, and I was watching it with my wife, and of course she feels sorry for the kid. And I'm like, but he doesn't realize how awesome that's going to be whenever he grows up. And he's like, "I was that kid." I mean,
that's like the girl that they always show for The Miz, where she got mad because he cashed in Money in the Bank. Like, that girl, like, that's her claim to fame, and she still claims it.
Or the Undertaker guy,
the shocked Undertaker guy.
Yeah, for sure. These people are going down in history in WWE. They just don't know it yet. All right, we are just getting started here on Squared Circle Radio. We appreciate you guys being with us again. If you haven't liked the video, please make sure you do that. It's a thumbs up underneath the video. Subscribe to the channel. 90% of you that are watching us right now are not subscribed. Do yourself a favor. Let's change that, please. The only way that we grow the channel is by getting that viewership up and getting those subscriptions. So it doesn't cost you a thing, but obviously it helps us a ton. All right, let's move on to a couple other things from Monday Night Raw tonight. Jared, something awesome happened in the women's title picture tonight, and I'm so glad. One of the great things about Triple H booking is he likes to call back some of our favorite things and put a new little twist on them. Like some of these awesome storylines, the Mark Henry retirement thing that he brought back with AJ Styles and what have you. He brings back all these cool things. Well, tonight, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. Jared, I know you picked up on it. Rhea Ripley comes out and attacks Io Sky and Bianca Belair, grabs the WrestleMania contract that has already been signed by both, and she also signs it and takes it away. Shades of, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels in 2004 signing himself up for the WrestleMania 20 main event. Jared, what an awesome side of Rhea. I love that Triple H brought this back. It's a cool way to seemingly insert her, it's not confirmed, into the WrestleMania match.
Oh, she's getting in the match, dude, hands down. But I mean, it is unbelievable. Like, we watch this show and you wonder, why doesn't everybody else do this? Like, I mean, of course, you have to kind of view wrestling in a certain light and view that it is a story, and everything's not going to make sense to the T. But man, stuff sure makes sense more than ever right now with Triple H at the helm of things. And I love all the throwbacks, dude. I mean, there were so many times during this show, through the whole Cena thing, I was smiling. Whenever I saw this go down with Rhea, I was smiling. And that's something that I just haven't done for so long while watching WWE. It's a great thing to do that again.
My question is, how long before Chad Gable, the masked individual, takes a lie detector test to find out if it's Chad Gable or not? That's my question.
Oh, I cannot listen. I can't wait, because look, we're talking about throwbacks. Jared, what's going to happen is we're going to get an unmasked Gable and that guy on screen at the same time in front of a live crowd, just like a Blue Blazer thing. And he's going to get unmasked, and it's going to be somebody, and it's going to be hilarious. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. And for some reason, this was just like, all kinds of bells were going off in my head, reminding me of Kurt Angle, dude. I mean, this guy, it's like Kurt Angle's entire career, they're running this guy through the same stuff that Kurt did, basically. And it's just hilarious to watch. It's like, oh, Kurt Angle Volume 2. He's much smaller.
It's a shame, Andy, that he wasn't his son. I mean, come on, we just missed it. Just what
that was the perfect opportunity. I get the swerve for swerve's sake, but that would have been perfect.
Let's talk about something that Bryce just brought up in the chat. I don't have this in my notes, but again, as I say all the time, I've got pages and pages of notes, but you guys drop stuff in the chat. That's going to drive what we talk about on the show. He actually digs the idea of Penta in the Judgment Day, coming off some teases of Judgment Day trying to add a new member, maybe Penta. Maybe we're going to talk about his partner here in just a few minutes. So you could add both of them, perhaps. Obviously, rumors surfacing about Malachi Black, and he could be a good part of the Judgment Day. Something's going to go down, Andy. But what do you think about Penta in the Judgment Day?
I like Penta too much to put him with the Judgment Day because I hate the Judgment Day right now.
You were the wrong person to ask this question to.
I was.
You cannot answer anymore. Nope.
I'll say this. I'll say this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll say this. I like the idea of it, but I don't like what it would do to Penta.
Okay.
Like, I think Penta is so popular right now and is such on a fast track to possibly winning the IC title at WrestleMania because it's not out of the realm of possibility right now. I think to put him, which is weird to say this because Judgment Day was running things, a year ago or so. I think it's just like a step down to put him in Judgment Day right now. I think he's doing a lot better on his own, which is why I think the Phoenix tease was on SmackDown too, because I think they're going to keep them separate for a while, which I don't think is a bad idea.
It'd be a step down for Gable to go to the Judgment Day. I mean, all that's going to do is just sink him without Rhea being in that group, I really think.
Well, could you not find a situation where Penta, let's play devil's advocate, actually elevates the Judgment Day? Because we saw it was, no, listen, just hear me out for a second.
Okay.
It was floundering with Edge. Balor joined, Rhea joined, Dom joined, and then they were the hottest thing on TV. So then we have this dip, just a little, and then we have Liv, insert Liv, and then all we're talking about is this Liv and Dom thing, and then Rhea comes back and it becomes hot again, and then we cool off. So could Penta, Jared, not bring new life into this and maybe turn it a little bit and figure out a way to bring it back up?
I see what you're saying. I really do. And anything's possible. That's what WWF said for years. But I don't want to see him go down that path. I don't want him in Judgment Day. I'm done with the Judgment Day for now. They can spend time to try to rebrand it and make it good again. At this point, I don't see the need in it. My question, but I'll throw at both of you all, is why are they putting Penta in to go against, to go up for the Intercontinental title? In my mind, I figured they would be trying to play towards like some sort of tag team scenario involving Penta so they could bring in Phoenix. I mean, that's just kind of what I had in my mind. And then they started doing this and I was like, this doesn't make sense. Where are they going with this?
Honestly, I think they're going to try to make both of them single stars before they put them together again. I mean, there's no denying the rise that Penta has been on since he showed up has been better than I even anticipated it being. Him coming from AEW to WWE, it's been massive. And I don't expect anything different from Phoenix because if you love Penta, you're gonna love Phoenix too. Yep. They go hand in hand really well. So I think making them single stars and then putting them together for a purpose, maybe towards SummerSlam or whatever, or maybe just have them interact from time to time. But again, like there's no ruling out. I mean, what if he says no to Dom? Dom gets mad, and we get Ray and Phoenix and Penta versus Dom and Carlito at WrestleMania this year or something. Sure. So I think it's still a possibility. But I think they just want to make them single stars before they put them together.
Can I have just a second to really take a big steamy crap on AEW? Is that okay?
Give me just 1 second. As you're looking
Okay.
on your screen here, Ray Phoenix, this is the tease that we're referencing. This aired on SmackDown on Friday night. So, excuse me. So, this was seemingly the Penta stuff was pretty obvious when they were teasing it. It doesn't get more obvious than what you're looking at on your YouTube screen right now. That is Ray Phoenix. And as Andy said, maybe we split them. Maybe they're on separate brands, what have you. Jared, go ahead. Crap on AEW, and then we'll continue to crap on AEW.
Awesome. So it blew my mind earlier, man. Just like Andy was talking about, to see what a star that Penta is in such a short time after debuting in WWE. And AEW had this man, and he never got this kind of reaction.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I mean, like even Edge, I miss Edge, dude. But you look at Edge and AEW, and it's just like, this is wrong. This man should be somewhere where it matters for the last years of his career, not the crap hole that has become AEW. And guys, I used to love it. I know Andy still does, and more power to everybody that loves it. I mean, we need more brands. It's just I can't make myself watch it anymore. And if I can't make myself watch it, something's wrong.
Also on Friday Night SmackDown, let's go ahead and go here. We're talking about AEW and people that they had that were stars that they seemingly underused or benched or what have you. We see Ricky Saints in NXT doing some great things. Another guy that is being teased. This is the other tease we saw on Friday Night SmackDown. And this number 4 in this look. Well, for those of you who might not know, we think, not confirmed, Andy, but we think this is a teaser for the return of Aleister Black, also known as Malachi Black, in AEW. Now, what got me, Andy, is obviously you have to do a little digging on that. And Malachi's character, Aleister's character, probably wants you to do some digging and not, know that it's actually him. But Andy, what got me was the music. Like when they played the background music, that was absolutely an Aleister Black-esque, maybe even just ripped straight from his entrance theme when he was in WWE. So seemingly he's on his way over from AEW as well. Another one lost.
Yeah, I think he I would be shocked if it's not him. Like I other than him, I can't put who, unless this is like some random tease for a return of the Wyatt Six in a way, but I don't think they would do it in this style. I think it's more for Malachi Black. But I'm out of everybody that could come from AEW to WWE right now, Malachi Black's probably the top of the list that I'm most excited about. Because I think there is a lot of room for him and a lot of possibilities for him. And he's also the one that, like, out of everybody that has gone from WWE to AEW and come back or whatever, he's the one that I'm surprised didn't get as big of a push as he did. I don't know if it was booking or Tony didn't get it or whatever the case is. He was one of those guys that I was shocked. Him and Miro both. Like Miro should have been world champion at some point. And never got to that point. So I can't believe that both of them are now gone from AEW. But again, like I said, Malachi Black coming into WWE, immediately have him go after Cody at some point, bring back that feud, because there's a lot of leftovers from that. There's a lot of leftovers from a lot of different things, and he could be a real star. So I'm excited for all of these guys. I mean, if Penta is the beginning of this, then things are going to be really good in WWE here in a couple months.
Jared,
I think this is going to be the WWE Triple H experiment, because Vince didn't know what the crap to do with him. We know that. Tony Khan did know better. Now he's coming back. Triple H, man, whenever Malachi or Aleister, whatever you want to call him, whenever he was in NXT, loved him, man. We saw him whenever he was in NXT. It was awesome. I'm pretty sure we were there whenever he had the little thing that stood him up to come up onto the stage. And I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Jared, you and I were there when he won his first NXT championship in New Orleans.
Yeah. And when he was in NXT, I was just like amazed by him. But Vince didn't get him. Tony didn't get him. And I'm trying to be positive here, and I can't wait to see what Triple H does now that he has a hold of him again.
I've been skeptical on this podcast about where he might fit in WWE. I trust Triple H to find the right spot for him. Unfortunately, some talent that Triple H has brought back has not worked out. We've seen several of them get released. We've seen several of them just not work. Maybe on their way out if they're not already. So, I'm holding out hope that he'll know what to do with Alistair on the way back. What I don't want to see is, Andy, I'm going to push back here. The first feud that Malachi had in AEW was Cody. In his first match, squashed him. Okay, cool. In WWE, that's a different ballgame. And if that happens, and they have built Cody for how long they've built him, and they bring Malachi in and squash him, no, I think that's a terrible idea. I don't know.
Well, I'm not saying bring him in and squash him.
So, okay, so you bring in Malachi.
I'm just saying there's a lot of feud to be left over between Malachi and Cody.
But you bring him in and that's his first feud and he loses? Like, don't you want to make a bigger impact with him?
I don't think necessarily. I mean, it all depends on what happens with Cena at Mania, because I think there's a good chance Cena walks out with the title and we don't run a Cena-Cody rematch back right away. When's a perfect time to attack Cody Rhodes and get him when he's distracted right after losing his world title at WrestleMania to Cena. And it's a good way to, I mean, if you want to establish some of these guys, you know, you have to put over by somebody bigger. And who's bigger right now than a Cody Rhodes or a Roman Reigns or a CM Punk or a Seth Rollins? So I think, you know, at some point we're going to have to flip the switch on Cody and have him lose some matches. I'm not saying he has to lose every match, because I don't think he has to. But I don't think it's necessarily right away either that we jump into this massive view. I just think at some point it needs to be revisited between Cody and Malachi.
Oh, I agree. Go ahead, Jay.
I definitely would not do that right off the bat. I kind of like you said, man. I don't know where you would go if it was him versus Cody right at the beginning of his return, him being Malachi. Because if you have him beat Cody right out of the gate, man, that just, I don't think fans would buy that. I don't think Aleister Black is that big that people would think, oh, I believe that. I think it would just be like, we don't buy this at all. And I think you need to reestablish him, build him up, and then put him in the world title picture or the Intercontinental title picture. But not just bring him back at the top of the game, because when he left, he wasn't at the top of the game.
Yeah, I was trying to think. It was Big E, right, Andy, that he was feuding with whenever he left. Yeah. So obviously that's not going to happen. Could be interesting to see how they bring him in, though. I'm here for it. Like, the first guy that popped in my head was Randy Orton. Like, let him feud with Randy Orton. That would be interesting. Let him feud with Kevin Owens. That could be kind of cool.
I like that.
So lots of different possibilities there. Let's go back to Monday Night Raw real quick. We got really sidetracked, and that's fine. We were going to talk about those teases anyway. We kind of took that exit a little faster, and now we're going to detour and we're going to go back, because Andy, it's one thing that we have been harping on this podcast for so long, and we finally got, well, not everything we wanted, but we got some of what we wanted tonight. Jey Uso got the best of Gunther in a little post-match scuffle. Andy, what was this all about?
Something a little different, which is a nice change, I guess. It was done a lot better than we've got in the past. I looked down for 2 seconds, heard the bell ring again, and looked up and realized that Jey just squashed Austin Theory, which, is crazy because Austin Theory beat Cena like 2 years ago at WrestleMania, and now is getting squashed on Raw by Jey Uso, which is a wild statement to say. But this is something different. We're getting, more momentum for Jey, which is good. But we can't keep doing back and forths now. Like, who's going to get the upper hand physically each and every week? We got to have a promo between these two guys. We got to care more about Jey Uso. We got to hear more from him. And it gives Gunther a chance to show how dastardly of a heel that he can be, because we've seen it before. So This is the step in the right direction, but we need more of this down the line.
So I was talking about smiling while I watched the show. This is a part that I did not smile, and I'm just going to throw it out there. They are completely mishandling Jey Uso. They are surrounding him by jobbers. The only person he's coming in contact with that even matters is Gunther, and Gunther just has got the best of him so many times. And it's like, oh, well, we got who was it that said Otis and them, as they'd say around here in Eastern Kentucky, Otis and them. We got your back next time, man. Who needs them?
Right.
They get destroyed by everybody. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but I really think they need to course correct with Jey Uso and Gunther before they go any further on the road to WrestleMania if they want this match to matter and be what we all thought it was going to be when Jey won the Royal Rumble.
Right.
I mean, it's falling short.
Yeah. So next week, Jay is in a tag match against Theory and Grayson Waller with a mystery partner. I do not think it's Jimmy Uso. I
don't
not
either.
It's Otis.
I mean, why not?
Oh, I don't think it's Otis.
You don't think it's Otis?
Because they're in Scotland.
Yeah.
I will lose my mind if they bring in Joe Hendry for this one appearance to be Jey Uso's tag partner.
That would be cool.
Okay.
That would help him a little bit. Yes.
Because, I mean, listen, Joe's a hometown boy. They got that TNA relationship working out right now.
Look at Andy.
I think that would be fantastic to see them together.
Oh man, I love it. All right.
And then Gunther just like kills Joe Hendry after the match is over. Like something like that would probably happen. But
Of course. Yeah, most definitely he would. All right. Couple more things to get to here. I can't even talk, guys. You're killing me. Here on Squared Circle Radio tonight. Before we do, though, we got to hear from our favorite sponsor, our number one sponsor, our partner in crime, the Reverend Tom Rice.
Looking for all the latest happenings in the world of sports and wrestling? Well, you're in luck because Sports Wire Radio has you covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. With great shows in the world of sports, such as the Pinstripe Chronicles, hosted by Uncle Tats, Donald Stewart, and Rob Barrows. New York Baseball Talk with Chris Bazaya and Rob Maraska. The Liftoff Jets, also hosted by Chris Bazaya and Sharman Phillip. Neil Villapiano and the Devil's State of Mind. Randy Dillon's Hockey Fan Chat. In the world of wrestling, Sports Wire Radio has you covered with Squared Circle Radio, featuring Chris Belcher, Andy York, and Jared Justice. Those sit-down marks with DB, Primo, AJ, and Michael. A work in progress, featuring the Mayor of Canton, Piles, and Glenn Abbott. You can catch all of these great shows and more anytime, anywhere, and any place via the Listen Live button on sportswireradio.org, and you can also catch Sports Wire Radio anytime on YouTube at Sports Wire Radio 6579 to catch all the latest happenings in the world of wrestling. Sports Wire Radio has you covered. It's all sports matters and all wrestling matters here on Sports Wire Radio. I am your host, the owner of Sports Wire Radio, the number one global radio station, the owner of the Promo Wrestling Federation, and one of the owners of the Pride Wrestling Federation, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters, the Reverend Tom Bryce.
That dude. Bringing the energy. If we weren't bringing the energy before, that dude brings the energy and that causes us to bring it right back up. All right. We have one more segment on this show. We teased it on the thumbnail of the show. It is March. Everybody knows that March brings March Madness. The brackets are in full swing. The NCAA tournament starts tomorrow night. No, we're not going to start talking about basketball. What we are going to talk about is WrestleMania.
It's the madness, brother. The madness.
It is the madness. Yeah. I love it. Why was that not the intro of the segment? Good grief. So it is WrestleMania season. And when WrestleMania season kicks up, here on Squared Circle Radio that we do lots of extra stuff. We like to try to do a WrestleMania segment on every show. And then the week of WrestleMania, we're going all out, new episodes every day, talking about different WrestleMania stuff. So more on that in the coming weeks. Even more reason for you to subscribe to the channel. Nonetheless,
the love of everything good. Hit the button.
So all that to say, this WrestleMania, we are celebrating John Cena's final WrestleMania. Good guy, bad guy, doesn't matter. It's still John Cena's last WrestleMania, and he has had 16 WrestleMania matches. So we thought, what better way to celebrate than to put those 16 matches on a bracket, and let's figure out which one is the best. Now, I know that bracket might be a little hard to read. Just put your magnifying glass on, and you can see these seeds for this bracket were created by the Sportster. They put out an article and they ranked John Cena's 16 WrestleMania matches. So we used that as the seeds to determine our bracket. We have these matchups, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to eliminate them one by one. Some of these I'm not happy to eliminate right off the bat, but I know it's going to happen. All right, so we are going to start at the top left of the bracket. The number 1 seed as ranked by Sportster. Their opinion, the best John Cena WrestleMania match is WrestleMania 23 against the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. That was in 2007. And they put that up against the number 16 seed, The Undertaker, from WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. A little bit unfair because the Cena HBK match went for about 25 to 30 minutes and Taker went for 5. And it's a fan favorite. Let's be honest, right, Andy? Like, we don't want to eliminate The Undertaker right off the bat, but is there any competition here with this?
No. I wish there was, because I probably am higher on the Taker Cena match because it was the least, like, it was the thing we were not expecting to have happen, and it happened, and it wasn't bad. Like, it was the best Taker had looked in years. It was the best way to use John Cena in that moment. But then again, you're talking about 2 of the greatest of all time in the ring at the greatest, like the show of shows at WrestleMania. It has to be Cena and Shawn.
And Jared, you and I were in the building for the Undertaker match. Like, we had just settled into our seats and we're blinking, and Taker's calling for the tombstone.
And it's interesting too that just recently Undertaker said that he was basically demanding like a 25 to 30 minute match where he ain't going out there. I still don't think it was the right call to do the squash, but it seems like that Take was outnumbered by Cena and Vince. And so what are you going to do? But yeah, man, to answer the question, there's no competition here. I mean, Cena and Shawn, that actually, whenever you first told me of the concept of this whole thing, that was what I pictured in my head. Like, that was just boom, went straight to that match. So
it's going to be hard to beat that match, but let's progress through the bracket and see what gets put up against it. Let's go to the number 8 versus 9 seed match. That is number 8, John Cena versus the Big Show and Edge in a triple threat match from WrestleMania 25 versus the 9 seed, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. This one is a toss-up here. I went back and I watched both of these matches before doing this. It's difficult to go back and forth. Jared, I'll go to you first. If you're having to pick between these 2 matches, which way are you leaning?
Big Show Edge, 100%.
Okay, the triple threat.
If nothing else, just because Edge is involved. I mean, that's all you have to say, dude. I mean, you don't even have to watch the match. Edge is involved, it's better.
He is one of those top WrestleMania performers that probably don't get enough credit. You're 100% right there. Andy, I probably know where you're leaning here, but let me hear why.
Because Big Show's in the other one. No, I'm kidding. I think, taking everything into perspective, I think the story and the match itself between Cena and Bray was better, but then you come to the end and it falls apart. The other match, like, you get the big moment of the double AA, which is still wild that he was able to do that and pick him up. I really think this is a toss-up. I do lean more towards Cena and Bray just because I think the story around it heading into it was better. But that's probably which way I would lean.
So I guess I'm going to side with Andy here. I'm going to go with the Bray Wyatt match. I think that one moves on in the bracket for me. Jared, I'm like you. Anytime Edge is in a match, obviously I'm immediately drawn to it. The double AA spot is incredible. I just think this was I'm hard pressed to say this because I don't want anybody to think anything negative about Bray Wyatt and me saying this. I think this is the best version of Bray Wyatt that we ever got. So I think in this situation, putting him up against arguably still what a lot of people considered Super Cena. So just the contrast of styles and the way that he freaked Cena out and just a lot of the storytelling. I'm with Andy. I think I'm going to go Cena and Bray on this one. But again, we're still cranking here. Let's go to the next first round matchup. It is going to be from WrestleMania 29, a 4 seed, the second iteration, twice in a lifetime, as they would say, The Rock versus John Cena, WrestleMania 29. And we put that one up against the mixed tag team match from WrestleMania 33, John Cena and his then fiance Nikki Bella against Miz and his current and was wife then as well, Maurice. Let's see. Andy, kick us off on this one.
I mean,
is there anything to talk about here?
This one doesn't seem like a contest to me. Like I definitely lean towards Cena Rock. I don't think the Cena Rock matches are that great, to be honest, but the last one was better than the mixed tag match. Although, for the joke of sending through the engagement that never happened to the second round is very tempting. It's very tempting to send it through for that moment alone, but I still lean towards Cena Rock.
It was a heartstring moment, man. Like I just wish they would. I wish they would have lasted. I thought it was a super cool story.
Bella Phil now. Phil.
Well, that's accurate.
He broke
actually,
up with us too.
He did break up with us. Jared, any competition here?
No. And if you all try to argue, and Chris starts saying, "Oh, it's the Miz, and this is why," I'm gonna have to just like. My internet is just going to go out again.
Don't worry. I think we're going to be bashing the Miz here again pretty soon.
Yeah, we got another Miz one coming up here soon. All right, so Cena Rock 2 from WrestleMania 29 moves on. Let's move on to the 5-12 matchup, the 5 seed. John Cena versus Batista at WrestleMania 26. They put that one up against John Cena's first world title win. WrestleMania 21 against JBL. Jared, I'll go to you first.
Dude, I'm going Cena JBL. Yeah, I love JBL's character, and that was kind of during the time whenever I had quit watching as much because of high school and college and your friends and the girls and all that good stuff. But getting to kind of know JBL through listening to him and Conrad, dude, his character was so much better than he ever got credit for. And I just, hands down, man, no competition. I'm going JBL Cena.
Andy?
Is this Cena Batista? Is it the no holds barred or whatever?
No, this was straight up wrestling match.
Okay, that's what I thought. That I'm gonna go Cena JBL too. Then I don't think this is even really that close. Which one was the 12 seed? Did you say Cena JBL was the 12 seed?
Cena JBL's the 12. Yep.
That's crazy.
I feel like Chris is going to tell us why we're both wrong.
Probably, but I'm going towards Cena JBL.
Listen, this one was a toss-up for me. I was anxious to see where you guys landed on this. I'm honestly fine going either way. The reason that I say that is because I hadn't watched the Cena Batista match in a really long time, and I was more impressed than I thought I was going to be with some of the exchanges and Cena literally throwing Batista around like he was a rag doll. Some of the stuff in that match was really, really impressive. But for the sake of it being John Cena's first world title win against JBL, who was an incredibly dominant heel during the Ruthless Aggression era, and then the feud that seemingly happened after this, I'm totally agreeing. We'll go 3 for 3 with JBL there. All right, let's move to the other side of the bracket. The 2 seed in this bracket is, let me find it. Where did it go? There it is. From WrestleMania 28, the first iteration of Cena versus The Rock, which I do think this one was better than the second one. Andy can fight me on it. It's fine. Against the 15 seed, Andy brought it up earlier, John Cena versus Austin Theory from WrestleMania 39. Again, I think this one is probably an easy one, but Andy, what do you think here?
This is an easy one because it is Cena Rock won by a landslide in this one. It's crazy the spectrum of Cena matches at WrestleMania, because you have some that are like the top of the top, and then you look at some, you're like, man, these were like probably the worst ones on the show. Some of these, and Cena Theory was absolutely the worst one at WrestleMania 39. So it's got to go to Cena Rock 1.
And it kicked off the show. It kicked off the show, Jared, and it was just
I mean, Cena against Theory, that was 100% a Vince call, and he was completely wrong on that. Yep. What a waste of an opportunity for somebody to have gone against Cena. So, of course, you know my answer. There's no competition.
Completely agree. Like, I was in the crowd for WrestleMania 39, and it was the first match of the first night, and it just like it sucked the air out of the building. It was just no, it's like what is this? Like it just did not work. All right, let's move on to the 7-10 matchup. This one's where it's going to get interesting again. Triple threat match from WrestleMania 30 or 24 rather is in the 7 spot. That's Triple H, John Cena, and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, matched up against the number 10 seed, the Firefly Funhouse match from the COVID WrestleMania. Andy, I can't wait to hear your perspective on this one.
Am I going first?
You're going first. Let's go.
Okay. It's very hard to judge the Firefly Funhouse match because that literally the world had just shut down and we did not know what to expect or what to do. That being said, I think what we got at that WrestleMania was 10 times better than anything we would have got in person.
Okay.
The triple threat though is really good too. So going back and forth looking at it, like the triple threat match was absolutely amazing. I am going to go biased though, because I think just the creativity behind the Firefly Funhouse doing what they did. I mean the Boneyard match with AJ Styles and Undertaker too, like both of those just completely stole that WrestleMania. That was weird and almost unwatchable. And those two segments were the only, like those two matches were the only thing that I was glued to. And so for that reason, I would give it to the Firefly Funhouse.
I will say this before Jared gives his answer. If you're a longtime listener to this podcast, Jared and I've been doing this since before COVID. Jared and I actually did a live watch along of the Firefly Funhouse match because we didn't know what to expect. And we watched the match with the sound off and recorded a podcast. You talk about one of the weirdest things that we have ever done because you needed the sound for that, Jared. We had no clue what was happening.
This, kids, is why you don't do things like LSD, because if you do those types of things, then you can create a match and think it's just the best thing ever. They're both crapshoots, man. I mean, the triple threat, it looks like a good match on paper, but I just remember, man, like watching that match and thinking, oh, this sucks. It should be good, but it sucks. And I'm going with the triple threat. The other is a complete turd. I don't know how anybody can enjoy such filth.
All right, so I'm the tiebreaker again. Bryce is still in the chat rocking with us, giving his picks. He's picking WrestleMania 24. This time I'm siding with Jared. We're going WrestleMania 24. The Firefly Funhouse match gets eliminated. That moves on. Sorry, Andy. That is one of my least favorite matches of all time. Just about anything will go over that. All right, let's move on.
I promise you the next Cena Miz match will not go over it.
Oh, I can argue it actually, but I won't.
I would rather go jump naked in a shark infested ocean than watch that again.
Good.
Really?
All right. This is going off the rails. Here we go.
Cover yourself in barbecue and then
yeah. I'll use JR's barbecue.
All right. All right. The 3-14 matchup in this bracket is John Cena versus Triple H, the 3 seed. That's at WrestleMania 22. And we put that up against John Cena's first WrestleMania match, the 14 seed U.S. Championship match against the Big Show. I will go first here and say, as much as it's cool that John Cena had his first WrestleMania match in Madison Square Garden and he had a really good showing, the Triple H match, I can make an argument that it's number 1. It's not because Shawn Michaels, but the Triple H match is way up there. I'm going Triple H. Jared, what say you?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, just the Big Show. You can just say the Big Show and that match is out.
Okay.
So, yeah, man, Triple H, like you said, it's hard to say because this was his match against Triple H was the second thing that popped in my head whenever you first told me of this concept. So it was HBK and then Triple H right behind it. So, yeah, man, I think this one could go all the way.
It's amazing how that works, right? 2 of the best in-ring performers of all time. I mean, it's amazing how that works. Andy?
Yeah, it's Triple H. Like Jared said, anything with Big Show in it's automatically disqualified. So,
man, you guys are just hating on Show tonight. All right, the last first round matchup, and
Scott
Last
Steiner.
first round matchup, and then it's going to get real juicy. The last one, the number 6 seed, John Cena versus Rusev from WrestleMania 31 up against the 11 seed. Yes, it made it all the way up to the 11 seed, Andy. John Cena versus The Miz from WrestleMania.
Oh my goodness.
It made it to the 11 seed?
It made it to the 11 seed.
Can we eliminate both these and just neither moves on?
You know, I'm not opposed to that,
I'm
but
giving the edge to Rusev because he came out in a tank. That was the best part of the whole match is when he came out in a tank.
and Lana was with him. Yes.
And Lana was with him.
Okay. We'll give the edge to Rusev. There's not really much else to talk about there. I unfortunately, in going back through here, I rewatched all of these matches, and having to rewatch the Miz match. Oh, it was tough.
It's so bad.
It's bad. All right, let's move on to the second round. We have the number 1 seed John Cena versus the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels in the quarterfinals up against the number 9 seed from WrestleMania 30, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. Here we go. This one's going to be interesting. Jared, I'm going to you first.
So Bray, and I hate that he's gone, but he never got to his potential in my mind that he could go to. Like, he was always this guy that is okay, but I saw the world ahead of him, and it's just a shame that he never got to live long enough to do that. But no, I'm going Shawn, man. Like I was saying, Shawn or Triple H could go all the way in my book.
Hard to argue with you there, Andy. Any thoughts?
No, I think it is Shawn Cena. Like, that match was once in a generation that you get that kind of a match. So it was absolutely amazing. I will say I completely agree with you though, Chris, that this was the best version of Bray that we got.
Yes.
And there was so much more that we should have gotten from this character before things happened, and honestly before he lost the Cena, and it all kind of fell off the rails from that point. But you put Cena and Shawn in a match at WrestleMania, and it's going to be hard to get beat by anybody. So you got to go Cena Shawn.
One thing that I tell you will beat it is the Raw match that they had a month later. That was 60 minutes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That match was so good. All right, let's move on.
That match had the right outcome.
Yes, it did. Yes, totally agree. Let's move on to the other quarterfinals. We've got the 4 seed Cena versus Rock 2 from WrestleMania 29, and we put that up against the 12 seed. Andy, you know how our 5-12 upsets go. John Cena versus JBL, the first title win, WrestleMania 21. That one is going to be tough. Jared, I'm going to go to you first here. Which way you leaning?
Okay, so tell me the 2 matches again. Let me think on this one.
We have John Cena versus The Rock from WrestleMania 29 when Cena wins the title from The Rock. And The Rock tears up his abdomen and gets hurt and all blah, blah, blah. Versus JBL, WrestleMania 21, Cena wins his first world title.
Man.
Here's a kicker. Here's one note that I found in going back and watching all these matches. What made the JBL match so good and so underrated that most people don't realize, there were no kickouts of finishers in that match. There was no clothesline from JBL. There was no multiple AAs from Cena. There was one AA and a pin, and it was over with. So to be able to wrestle that match with that, I mean, kudos to them.
I don't know what guidelines everybody's going by. I do think that Cena versus The Rock will by far be looked at as more historically significant. Even though his match with JBL was when he won his first title. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm going with The Rock, dude. I think it was a more important match. But man, it's close.
Andy?
I'm going JBL for one reason, because I think you're absolutely right, Jared, that it was important to have Cena versus The Rock, but I think the first one captures that better than the second one, because this is the second one we're talking about, right?
Yes, that's correct. Second one.
Okay, so I would lean more towards JBL because, I think the match was better between Cena and JBL. Like you said, obviously Rock got hurt like almost from the beginning of this match, like instantly got
couldn't really
hurt in a
tell it.
way. But you couldn't really tell it. But it
I
seemed like
watched
it
back for that too, and I couldn't tell it either.
yeah. So I still lean towards JBL though, just because I think the significance of Cena winning his first title outweighs the second matchup between Cena and Rock.
I don't feel strongly enough to sit here and argue with you. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
All right. I will I'll make it easy for you guys. I'm going JBL. I'm putting JBL in the semifinals of this. I'm going that way. So which means let's go ahead and knock out this side of the bracket. The 12 seed making a run to the final four, if you will. John Cena versus JBL from WrestleMania 21. Going up against the 1 seed. It is a tough hill to climb. John Cena versus the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 23. Who goes on to the finals, Jared, in this matchup?
Sean. Sean. That's it.
You're not going to get any argument from me. I mean, we all are going to give our flowers to JBL, but Andy's not going to argue. Jared's not going to argue. Shawn Michaels is in the finals of this one. And we will wait to see who is on the other side. Let's go to the other Cena Rock matchup. That is from WrestleMania 28 in Miami, once in a lifetime, as they like to say. And we put that one up against the triple threat match from WrestleMania 24. Triple H, Randy Orton, and John Cena. Let's remember, John Cena lost this match. It was actually Randy Orton that came out as the victor here. So 2 matches that Cena lost going up against each other. Andy, I'll let you have the floor first.
I think both matches have their bright spots and both matches have their really low spots. I think is a very safe way to put it. But again, Rock Cena, I mean, that's the previous generation's version or the PG era version of Hogan Rock at WrestleMania. Like let's just call it what it is. I think you can't, understate that fact. You get
Hogan
the cocky
Warrior.
Cena. Yeah, you get the
Hogan
cocky
Warrior,
Cena. Final, like Cena starting to slowly play a little heelish, like being not his normal self, and it cost him. So I would give it to Cena Rock 1.
Yeah,
Jared?
I agree. If I hadn't seen either match and you just showed me on paper, okay, these 2 matches, then on paper I think that someone could argue for either. But the triple threat match just did not live up to what it should have been in my eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, there were a lot of big matches like that. I mean, even the Batista match that we referenced earlier, maybe happened a couple years too late. Like I get the Cena Batista match at 26 probably should have happened at 21 or 22, but they were trying to keep them separate, have the rise of the guys. Same thing I think here with Orton, Triple H, and Cena. Couple years before that, I think would have been a prime spot for it. All right, let's move on. Speaking of Triple H, he is the 3 seed in this bracket, and he takes on the 6 seed, Rusev, at WrestleMania 31. I'm sorry, Andy. There is no discussion that's going to be had here. There is no chance, as Vince McMahon would say, that Rusev.
No chance in hell.
Andy, it's Triple H all the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, this one's not even close. It's Triple H and Cena.
Not even close. Okay. Well, Triple H and Cena as the 3 seed going up against the 2 seed from WrestleMania 28. Once in a lifetime, Rock and Cena. Andy, I'll let you have the floor first on this one. Where do you lean?
This one to me is not close either. Like I think Triple H and Cena absolutely clear the first meeting between Rock and Cena. I think the story itself going into the first one again was interesting. We got a different side of Cena. Obviously, the promo battles between these 2 guys were fantastic. But the bell had to ring at some point, and when the bell rang, Triple H and Cena was 1,000 times better than anything we got from Cena and Rock. So because of that, I go Cena, Triple H.
Jared, as much as people wanted to bury Triple H in this era for, doing what he was doing or whatever, dude tapped out to John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania. So if you're not putting people over, what is that? Like he absolutely did. So I think it's all three of us in agreement. Triple H moves on to the finals. So that brings us to the showdown. John Cena and Triple H from WrestleMania 22. It was supposed to be the WrestleMania 23 match, but Triple H got hurt. And instead, who took his place? His old buddy Shawn Michaels. And that's the other matchup in the finals, WrestleMania 23. Triple H, Shawn Michaels. These two incredible John Cena matches. I'm curious as to where Jared leans on this, because these are the two matches that you thought of whenever we created this concept. So where do we lean?
Dude, I'm going HBK. I think an argument. You boys can sit here and argue Triple H. I mean, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, okay, well, I mean, I guess I'm wrong. It's so close. It's that close. But Shawn beats him, dude. It was just that match, just like Shawn's matches with The Undertaker. Just like what we were talking about, the John Cena promo tonight.
Yep.
That was perfection.
Yep. Andy, any thoughts? Any thoughts here? Is this close?
I mean, we're talking about three of the greatest WrestleMania performers of all time, and
Yep.
Triple H, Shawn, and Cena.
Throw Taker in there.
Throw Taker in there. You know, there's no competition between those four. I love Triple H. I love this match between Cena and Triple H. But you only catch that lightning in a bottle of a WrestleMania match a handful of times. Where it's not just like, oh, that was a really good, WrestleMania match on a not so good WrestleMania card. This was not that. This was an absolutely amazing WrestleMania match that, is in probably like top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time, probably top 5 for some people. If you're Chris, probably number 1.
Or maybe.
But yeah, like I think this match absolutely rules. And so I love Triple H, but I go Cena, Shawn.
For a long time, I held a grudge against this match for obvious reasons, because I'm a Shawn Michaels fan. And because I feel like Shawn Michaels really put Cena in his place in this match, because it felt like John Cena was riding this wave. He couldn't do anything wrong. And then Shawn, with his cocky attitude, and, he is what he is. It's like, all right, rookie. All right, let me show you why I'm the best. Shawn brought him to another level in this match. I said just a few minutes ago that the Raw match is better, but hands down, the best WrestleMania match of John Cena's career is against the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, from WrestleMania 23. A match, again, like I said, it wasn't even supposed to happen. John Cena and Shawn Michaels were tag team champions when this match happened. But nonetheless, that is the winner of the March Madness John Cena style. Shawn Michaels. Jared, you thought it. The Sportster ranked it number 1. I thought it. I'm sure Andy thought it when we put this thing together. Really, this bracket was fun to go through and to talk through. But Jared, there was no competition when this thing was put together. It was Shawn Michaels or nothing.
So I want to throw a little bonus in here. Let's do a little bonus round.
I love it. Let's go.
And Andy brought it up. Just laughed it off. I said I might agree. What is the best? Not just Cena. What is the best WrestleMania match of all time to me? To you all.
It's not even close. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. I don't even have to think about it.
Is it the best or is it our favorite? Because that's two different answers.
No, it's not. It's the same answer.
I feel like that's related. Whatever in your mind is your favorite, of course you're going to think that one's the best.
I lean Triple H, Undertaker, once in a not once in a lifetime, end of an era, Hell in the Cell match.
The Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
Oh man. Now I pose that question to myself, and I'm like, what do I do here? Undertaker's my favorite, hands down. And he wasn't for years. Chris knows that. It was Stone Cold. It was Hulk when it was Stone Cold, and just over the years I've soured on Austin. I don't know, but Taker in my mind is the bar. There's nobody above him. I'm sure Chris would say Shawn is. In my mind, he's not. In my mind, it's Undertaker. So I'm going Taker and Shawn from 25.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the perfect WrestleMania match. It's
Yes.
the perfect wrestling match.
Flawless.
It's just oh my gosh. So, listeners, viewers, go out of your way. WrestleMania 25. Go watch it. You will not be
You
disappointed.
will not be sorry. You will not
Absolutely
be.
not. Especially if you haven't watched in a long time. You know what, Jared? It pained me because as I'm going through watching all these John Cena matches, I'm fast forwarding all through the WrestleMania to get to the John Cena match, and I had to fast forward through Shawn and the Undertaker, and I was like, oh, I want to stop and watch it so bad. I want to stop and watch it so bad, but I only had a limited amount of time to get these Cena matches in. Now I'm going to go back and watch it because I have a reason to.
I'm so confident that the listeners out there will enjoy this match that I say, go watch the match. If I'm right and it's the best thing you've ever seen, come back and hit that subscribe button. If not, don't worry about it.
That's right. That's right.
Come back and hitting the subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen.
100% you are. Guys, that's our show for tonight. We appreciate you hanging with us. Again, if you're watching the replay, you can still drop your comments and questions in the chat. We get back to each and every one of those. We appreciate you guys being with us. Andy, anything else to add before we sign off, brother?
No, just another fun week of wrestling heading into the WrestleMania season. And kind of like Jared said, we're in this toxic relationship with 90% of our audience who will not subscribe to us. I mean, we've done everything we can, and you give us nothing. Now I know how Cena feels.
Listen, we're not going to break up with you, but you're on a short leash.
I might.
Yeah, I believe I would. I would break up with them.
I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Listen, you're watching our stuff, especially if you're a repeat viewer. Like I know we joke about this, but if you're a repeat viewer, it helps us so much if you just hit that subscribe button. You're coming back and you're checking out our content. Just hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button. That helps the algorithm, helps more people see our content. Just help us out if you think what we're doing is halfway good. Not even great. If it's halfway good and you're enjoying yourself, hit that subscribe button, Jared.
I feel like we're all three bringing the Big Tom energy. I mean, like, we are trying our hearts out. Andy's excited. He's smiling. How many times do you see Andy smiling, excited? This is where it's happening, people. You hit the subscribe button, you see Andy get excited.
Oh, my goodness.
Happy as a pig in crap.
I better close up shop before we really go off the rails. One quick reminder, one quick programming note. Next week, Monday Night Raw airs at the same time as it did today. So 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. So we will be back here live, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central next Monday night, just like we were tonight. So mark your calendars. Better yet, hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. It'll tell you when we go live. So just keep it locked in right here. For Jared Justice and Andy York, it is convenient. Why they wouldn't do it, I'll never know. Jared Justice, Andy York, my name is Chris Belcher. Thank you so much for being with us on another edition of Squared Circle Radio. We will catch you guys down the road.